Want to speak real Czech from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at czechclass101.com.
In this lesson, you'll learn 3 different ways to say it. Let's start with the easiest one.
Děkuji. Děkuji.
Another way to say thank you is
Díky. Díky.
Finally, here's a third way to express your gratitude.
Mnohokrát vám děkuji. Mnohokrát vám děkuji.
Okay, let's wrap up this lesson by recapping what we've learned.
Děkuji. Děkuji. Díky. Díky. Mnohokrát vám děkuji. Mnohokrát vám děkuji.
In this lesson, you'll learn 3 different ways to say it. Let's start with how to express your feelings to your loved one.
Miluji tě. Miluji tě. Miluji tě.
Or if you want to explain those butterflies in your stomach, you can say,
Zamiloval jsem se do tebe. Zamiloval jsem se do tebe. Zamiloval jsem se do tebe.
and when you feel that I love you is not enough, you can say,
Mou lásku k tobě nelze vyjádřit slovy. Mou lásku k tobě nelze vyjádřit slovy. Mou lásku k tobě nelze vyjádřit slovy.
In this lesson, we will continue our lesson series dedicated to very common Czech verbs. The second verb in our series is dělat, which means to do. But as in English, you will see that the meaning of this verb is quite broad and it can be found in many different situations. So imagine someone asks you, co děláš? That means, what are you doing, in an informal form. So if you are doing your homework, for example, you will say, dělám domácí úkoly. Dělám domácí úkoly. So let's break down this answer. First we had dělám, which is I am doing. It is the first person form of the verb dělat, which is to do in present indicative tense. Finally, we had domácí úkoly, which is an adjective with a noun in plural accusative. And together they mean homework. Note that in Czech you can use the present indicative to say that you are doing something right now. For example, if someone asks you to come and give him a hand, but you are making dinner, you can say, promiň, teď dělám večeři, which means, sorry, I am making dinner right now. Here we are using the present indicative. So now let's have a broader look at what can you say with this verb dělat in Czech. Basically, it is close to the most useful verb in Czech since you say almost everything with it. It can mean to prepare as we just saw before, but it can also stand for to practice, as in dělám karate, which is I am practicing karate. Sometimes it can also stand for to work, as in dělám účetnictví, which is I am working in accounting. It can also replace a lot of other verbs. For example, dělám pořádek, which is I'm tidying up. This verb can also express the verb to make or to create in English, as in dělám sochy, which is I make sculptures. Now it's time for Veronica's insights. In Czech we often say, co budeme dělat dneska večer, which means what are we going to do tonight. For example, if you are with some friends and you haven't decided your plans yet, You can ask it. It will sound very natural. Co budeme dělat dneska večer?
Want to speak real Czech from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at czechclass101.com.
In this lesson, we are going to deal with the verb to be, in Czech, být. We will also discuss how to talk about your nationality. When you meet a new person in the Czech Republic, they might ask you, jaké jste národnosti, which is the equivalent of where do you come from. Let's break this down. Jaké means of what. Národnosti is nationality in genitive. Jste is a conjugated form of the to be verb být. Altogether it's jaké jste národnosti. Jaké jste národnosti. Answering this question is very easy. You just say jsem, which means I am, then your nationality. For example, jsem Američan. Jsem Američan. Just replace Američan with your own nationality. I am Spanish is jsem Španěl. I am Italian is jsem Ital. I am Chinese is jsem Číňan. Be careful because this is how you refer to your nationality if you are male. For the feminine form, you usually have to add ka at the end of the nationality. For example, if you are an American woman, you will say jsem Američanka. Spanish women say jsem Španělka. For Italian woman, it is jsem Italka. For Chinese woman, it is jsem Číňanka, and so on. To return the question, you can simply say a vy, which is and you in a polite way. Now it's time for Veronica's insights. If the male form of your nationality ends with an ec, like for example Brazilec, meaning Brazilian, or Japonec, meaning Japanese, you have to remove the ec ending if you want to make a feminine version. So if you want to say Brazilian woman, you take Brazilec, remove the ec, so it becomes Brazil, and then you add the ka to it, Brazilka. Or for Japanese, the female version is Japonka. In this lesson, you will learn how to talk about things you own by using the verb mít, to have. Máš auto means do you have a car? Máš auto? Let's take a closer look at this question. Máš means do you have. You can see that mít has been conjugated to máš because the subject is ty. Auto means a car. Máš auto? Máš auto? So, if you do have a car, how can you answer this question? Just turn the verb mít into the first person mám, meaning I have. So, in this case, we go from máš auto to mám auto. I have a car. Mám auto. Say, for example, that a classmate wants to borrow a pen from you. He might ask, máš tušku, which is, do you have a pen? Notice that unlike the earlier examples, the nominative tuška changes in accusative to tušku. If you only have a red pen, you can answer, mám červenou tušku. I have a red pen. Okay, so now let's look at the formal way to ask someone if he or she has something. Instead of máš, you will start with máte, to mean do you have. For example, máte auto, which means do you have a car? Máte auto? Now it's time for Veronica's insights. If you want to ask someone whether he or she has free time tomorrow, you can also use the verb mít in Czech. Maybe you remember that the word tomorrow is zítra. So you can simply say máš zítra čas, meaning do you have time tomorrow? And the formal version is máte zítra čas? In recent lessons, you have learned about the verbs být, meaning to be, and mít, meaning to have. Next time, you will learn how to use these two verbs in their negative forms in order to say I'm not and I don't have. Did you know that to turn a verb into the negative form in Czech, you just have to add a prefix? I will be waiting for you in the next Česky za 3 minuty lesson. Ahoj!